Welcome into the Fan Speak Network. I am Justin Bruni, your host this evening. Joining me, as always, is my co-host and partner, Mr. Andrew, the TD King, Raub. And joining us is a very special guest this evening, Mr. Dave Dynasty Dorks Heilman. How are we doing, gentlemen? Welcome in, Dave.
Thanks for having me.
Doing well, buddy. Doing well. Dave brings something that I always look forward to every year, and that's some rookie takes, man. This is where you can really make or break your team, with the ADPs of the rookies. So I am excited to hear what Dave has to say.
Yep. And our first guest on the FanSpeak Network. Moving on over here with our best ball content. Dave is our NFL rookie guy. He's our edge. We'll be bringing on some more edges as the offseason goes on, but we're kicking it off with Mr. Heilman as we're still relatively close to the NFL draft, and we want to get his insights on some rookie takes. Dave, who's your most overvalued rookie right now? Who's the guy that's getting a little too much juice? Maybe it's in the dynasty streets, best ball streets. Who's the guy getting overhyped right now?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about him, but as far as best ball, Xavier Worthy, just very high. I think people might be overreacting a little bit to the Rashee Rice news. It is, he's just a little pricier than I expected. But as far as dynasty, you don't know. I mean, it's always interesting to see the dynasty ADP and how people overreact a little bit to like the short term. They forget It's dynasty, and so I don't have a guy for that. But just don't overreact to like the short term and then pass up on a guy like Ricky Pearsall, who's a stud who doesn't necessarily have clear cut, and that's how you end up drafting Treylon Burks at like 104, like people did a couple years ago ahead of Garrett Wilson.
Damn, just getting a little too hyped, getting a little too juiced up. We are going to be diving into a rookie ADP conversation, and then we will follow up with a live Best Ball Mania 5 draft. Be sure to smash the like button, share the video, and follow the network. Let's pull up our first guy here, Andrew. We're looking at roughly pick 13. I know you love to pick him at pick 13, Andrew. I'm getting him typically 15, 16.
I don't love picking him there, but I mean, I get so much of the 12 spot that I got to get a little bit exposure here.
A little bit. This guy loves double tapping some Jahmyr Gibbs, Marvin Harrison, 12-13. Like it's I don't know, having dinner, breathing, like it's the theory of gravity. It's just, he does it every time. Dave, a little high, no? Like round 2, pick 1, round 2, pick 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it seems a bit expensive. What do you think here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm old enough to remember when rookie receivers didn't do anything. But like that doesn't happen anymore. They're studs. Like you could have easily started several rookie receivers last year. Unfortunately, this does not give you a lot of room for ROI. You do have some room. I mean, you do have some room. You saw Puka Nacua did, Jamar Chase. You've seen some of these guys go up and put really, really good rookie seasons. But again, when you're getting somebody this high, there's not a lot of room. But I do think Marvin Harrison Jr. is a guy that could easily end up with, 130, 140 targets. And if he gets those red zone targets, he's obviously the clear-cut number one on his team. And I do like Kyler Murray this year. So I like the pick. It's just, again, it is tough when there's not much more. There's not much higher that you can go for him.
I would hope not. I would hope that he does not get more expensive. I don't know if a Trey McBride injury would really make any movement to his value, but regardless, I still wouldn't want to do it, and that's just because I really like a lot of the names going off the board behind him, specifically Devontae Adams, still Chris Olave. It's a good situation for Harrison down there, but I still kind of see Trey McBride as like the de facto wide receiver one, and man, Kyler Murray's got to stop saying nice things about Greg Dortch, just gassing him up the boards. It's getting a bit annoying here. He does still have a little bit more competition for touches than I think people believe. Andrew, do you want to defend it all? You're just constant taking of Marvin Harrison at the end of round 1 and start of round 2.
Again, it's situational based for me.
What's your exposure? What's your exposure to him?
Oh boy, I'd have to. Okay, I'll pull it up here for you. It's probably going to be more than I want it to be. Let's see.
Let's find out what the real number is, Andrew.
Oh boy. Let's see. Harrison. It's currently right now 16% drafted.
Okay, it's not an unhealthy amount. It's a lot. I'm going to say it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, again, underdog. Help me out here. Stop giving me pick 12. I mean, help me out.
I was getting pick 1 last year. Andrew's getting the pick 12 this year, and now I'm just stuck in the middle. I'm stuck in 6, 7, 8 territory. Let's bring up Neighbors here. He's the next guy. A little bit of a dip recently. Not much, but starting off at a high of ADP of 25, now down to about 28. So there's a little bit of a fall, but I guess it looks like he fell even more at 29. Dave, what are your thoughts on Neighbors? The OTA tape's not looking too bad, but he's still got Dan Jones throwing him the ball here. I know you're a Giants fan, so what's the situation here?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely limited as far as your ceiling. You want players on good teams and good offenses, and he's not. And the quarterback has never thrown over 25 touchdowns, so you're not expecting a lot of touchdowns. But what you can see from this is a lot of volume. Malik Neighbors is going to get a lot of volume, which is going to offer a floor. And what he does with the ball in his hands, he's going to create some stuff by himself. So
a lot of yak opportunities, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean he's still going to be a good player, and he's going to be able to overcome some of these issues that we're having with Daniel Jones. And I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities that you've seen all these highlights of Malik Neighbors, and Drew Lock is actually the one that's been throwing the ball. Maybe Drew Lock can have a Geno Smith type of revival. But
Drew Lock's got that swag, man. He's got that juice in him. Don't let him loose because he's got the juice.
Yeah, he does. He looks like E from the Entourage.
He does. You're right, Pizza Boy. I love it. I love that take.
So yeah, I'm okay with Malik Neighbors at this price. Again, you're shooting for upside in best ball, and so Malik Neighbors is one of those rookies that really could ball out because of what he can do with the ball in his hands after he catches it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Any concern about any other receivers there?
No.
He's just going to be the dude.
Yeah, I mean, and even if okay, this guy's good at the slot, so you're gonna put Malik Neighbors where he's your best. He is by far the best player on the Giants now that Saquon Barkley's out of there, and Wan'Dale Robinson might play a little slot, and you see him outside in the Diggs role in this Brian Dable offense, but Malik Neighbors is gonna get a ton of targets.
Okay,
gotcha. And Andrew, anything to add in? I know that you're curious about Darren Waller.
No, definitely not curious about Darren Waller. I mean, it's just, Neighbors to me, the problem I have with Neighbors is the guys that go around him, I think I just prefer. So I have not taken Neighbors. Like, I'd rather take Devontae Smith, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf. Like, I'd rather take all those guys, Cooper Kupp, even. Diggs is where it kind of gets interesting for me because Neighbors may see more targets than Diggs, but I love Diggs as an actual player a little bit more, especially for the offense he plays in. So I have no personal vendetta against Neighbors. I just like the guys that go around him a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, if he can actually fall, if he's falling past pick 30, that will land you into the back end of round 3. And I definitely have Neighbors in some builds as my third receiver, just going wide receiver heavy to start or 0 RB. So I think that's really the best situation. I'm looking at a draft right now where I saw someone get him at pick 30, and he was able to take 3 receivers where he had Justin Jefferson, Chris Olave, and Malik Neighbors. I like that a lot more than, say, going, like A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison, Tank Dell. I mean, if you get Cooper Kupp in that range, that's not bad, but I would still prefer the first option. One. Okay, that's fair. I mean, that's still a good group of receivers. Like, pick your poison there. But Tank Dell in a much more crowded space, I would argue, than, say, Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, he's the clear-cut number 1 on the offense, even though it's a bad offense. But I do think, you got to consider replacement value.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's just always value being the best guy in any offense. Well, it's the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be spike week availability for you no matter what, if you're the leading producer, target receiver, touches, whatever it is.
Neighbors just seems like he hates the Giants.
Or
Danny Dimes. I can't tell which one, but he always just has some slight negative thing to say, which it's music to my ears.
Juice up Drew Lock. Juice up Drew Lock. All right. Next up, we've got Steady Eddie Xavier Worthy here. Was down quite a bit, as low as 94. That's 429. What is that? That's right after the draft? No? The draft was what, 27?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like right after the draft, he was a huge value. Now he's all the way juiced up to 60, 30 spots up. I mean, I would say it's actually a fair price given his, potential opportunity in this offense with the uncertainty of Rashee Rice. Dave, what's your read on the Worthy situation? Is this a stock that's going to continue to climb, or do you think we might have a dip coming up here?
It's probably going to level out until we know more about Rashee Rice. If Rashee Rice gets a hefty suspension, then you could see the ADP go up. Because you have Marquise Brown there, who's been hit or miss. He's never really been a top fantasy producer, but he's been decent. But then you have Kelsey, who they think he fell off. Kelsey's production 2022 was unreal. And last year he was like 0.2 points per game below, the top two guys. So Kelsey's still going to be a stud. It's just, what are they going to do with the other pieces? And we know that offense hasn't necessarily produced a consistent wide receiver two outside of Hill. Rice did a decent job at the end of the season. Worthy, just again, too pricey for me. You're looking at other players that you can get around this area. I'm more interested in them than I am with Worthy. You got Kyle Pitts going right ahead of him. You got Calvin Ridley behind him and Ken Walker right behind that with George Kittle.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. And just at that same ADP, Network Academy Sports Club in the chat, even Spread asking about, Hollywood or Marquise. It's Hollywood every time. Yeah, I thought for some reason when he asked that, he was asking it, are we calling him Hollywood or are we calling him Marquise? But yeah, either way, I'm going Hollywood there. I have a ton of Hollywood exposure at this ADP. I like his utility at this cost, and his cost could even continue to rise if you saw a dip from Worthy. So Hollywood is the stock that I feel will rise the most that I want to get now. Andrew, anything to add there?
No, I mean, Worthy's the perfect best ball guy, though. That is the only thing I'll say is, you don't really have to care, or pick when you're going to play him. I will probably really kind of steer away and redraft for this, but for best ball, I mean, he's an okay pick. He's a guy that, our friend Pat from Fantasy Dog Pound talks about 80-20 players, a player that you want 80% of the time with a stack, 20% of the time by himself. That's kind of where he lives for me. Is I would, I don't want to keep him on my team too many times by himself, but when I can stack him with Mahomes or some sort of team stack or week 17 correlation, then I'm more open to taking him. But yeah, I mean, I agree.
All right, next up, I got Roma Duze. Talk about a dive. Dave, are you buying the dip here? Crowded stable of receivers.
It's crowded. I know with Caleb Williams, we've really never seen a rookie walk into a situation like this. It's a very, very good situation for Caleb Williams, but we've just not seen a lot of rookie receivers be able to sustain production from more than one clear option.
Right.
You're going to see Keenan Allen and DJ Moore get theirs. I think you're going to have to wait for Odunze. You saw JSN last year. A lot of people said, well, they're going to be covering Lockett and covering Metcalf. JSN's going to have one-on-one coverage with the third or fourth cornerback. Good luck. He's going to be crazy. No. It just comes down to like the ecosystem. How much points are they going to be able to squeeze out of this offense, and how much goes Odunze's way? It's just not going to be enough for me. And so at this price, I'm out.
No, that's fair.
You sound like you're from Shark Tank. At that price, I'm out.
Mr. Wonderful on our screens. Mr. Wonderful ADP. No, I agree with you. I mean, close to home, being a Bears fan. I have not drafted a lot of Rome. And in this situation, I'm drafting the best value pick, which is Keenan Allen right now. So what I can expect to get from DJ Moore and Keenan Allen feels very reliable based on the fact that the team will most likely still have to throw a lot. I know that that's what they're talking about is, hey, they're going to run. They're going to utilize the running backs they either have or they keep, because there is some talk that Herbert could be on the move, so that they can set up play action, get Caleb Williams into space, create some easier throws for him and things like that. But because of that, I just don't see there being a ton of opportunity for also a ton of 3 wide receiver sets. And if you look, they bring over the Seahawks offensive coordinator who didn't use JSN to his full abilities. They didn't really drop him up a lot in space and didn't create a lot of 3 wide receiver set systems that were going to benefit, like, the production of everyone. It was really just the top 2 guys, and that's what you saw. That's, JSN had a couple of splashes, but it wasn't anything to write home in best ball, that's for sure. Certainly not enough spike weeks. So yeah, I'm in the same situation there. I don't hate getting some exposure to him if I can get him like 10, even 15 picks after ADP. I've seen it. I've seen him falling quite a bit. So if I get a good value, I'm certainly willing to buy in if there's an opportunity to get him cheaper than he is. But majority of the time, I'm staying off. Andrew, anything to splash on there?
No, I agree. I'm usually staying off here too. Again, he's a guy that I prefer to take in a stack if I want to take that route. But outside of that, still guys going around him, I just prefer.
Let's I'm gonna kind of skip ahead here because we're just on the Bears here. I just want to pull up Mr. Bear Claw himself.
Bear Claw.
What do you think about Caleb Williams ADP? Bear Claw.
Yeah, I mean, you got the rushing upside that people kind of forget about a little bit with him. But again, like you talk about all these options, and anytime you have a situation where you really like 2 or 3 or 4 of the pass catchers, it's really like hypocritical to not like the quarterback. And so the person that you may not know which receiver blows up each week, but I mean, Caleb Williams, I just like the fact that he has some rushing upside on top of what he has to offer a little bit of a floor. You are going to get some turnovers with a rookie. And so that, can take a little bit of fantasy production, but rushing upside leads to spike weeks. And I think this guy can easily be a QB1 this year.
So how do you take this where, historically we have seen rookie quarterbacks not throw for a ton of touchdowns? Stroud kind of stands out, last year. Do you think Caleb's more closer to the Stroud output, or are we going to kind of revert back and he's not going to throw, more than 20 maybe?
Again, you're looking at someone that really most of these guys that go into these number 1 situations, their best receiver, like Joe Burrow's rookie year, he was on pace to have 30, but Tyler Boyd was his number 1, and maybe Mohamed Sanu or somebody else was the other guy. Daniel Jones with Darius Slayton through 24 as a rookie, and he only started 13 games. Justin Herbert, because he had Keenan Allen, broke the record as far as the rookie touchdowns. So you're looking at a guy that's going to start week 1, which is that's a check. He's got multiple options, and they're veteran options. They're proven options. So I think he definitely can get into the 30 mark. It's just as long as he can keep the fumbles and the interceptions down, negative plays equal negative points. I think he'll be fine. And then if he can add, a couple 100 yards and a couple touchdowns on the ground, you're looking at a guy that could be, QB8, QB7.
Woo! Let's go. Gassing up Caleb Williams. Easy, Dave. I'm buying the dip here. I'm buying the dip. I'm not trying to give him some of that diesel gas. All right. Just getting all loud up in here. Right back down to 103. Started at 104, climbed to 94, back to 103. Let's go. Andrew gets upset with me every time I don't buy the dip. Every time I pass him up, he gets very upset.
That's your boy.
Isn't this the Roaring Kitty stream? No, Andrew. Or no, Ginder. It's not. Well, we'll leave that up for a minute. Who is the next player that we had up here?
Keon Coleman.
Yeah, Mr. Puffcoat.
Me and Andrew have a board bet. We'll just cover both of these guys right now, and Keon Coleman and Brian Thomas Jr., because I think they're pretty close. Who are you buying at their ADP right now? I've got Coleman. Andrew's got Brian Thomas Jr. Settle the debate for us.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at what, 8 spots? Yeah, it's 71 versus 74 spots, 71 versus 75. So I'll take Keon Coleman because he's the number 1 on the team. Curtis Samuel's there, but Curtis Samuel's also been known to miss a ton of time and never really has been a 1.
Don't disrespect Khalil Shakir.
Yeah. Kincaid is really probably the most biggest threat. But my thing here is it's the prove it right kind of Josh Allen handpicked this guy. They use that very high draft capital on him. They're gonna want to get him the ball in space. Honestly, this guy, he doesn't. You've seen the reception. He doesn't necessarily excel on the outside. I think he's going to do a lot more of his work underneath. You can see
But
that's
isn't that where Kincaid's going to do it, right? I mean, you said that like Kincaid's the guy. Like, isn't that where Kincaid has to
it's a
see more
big
targets than him, right? I mean,
it's a big field. You could get both guys going across the middle. A lot of stuff. This offense is going to change a little bit. But you're going to see both those guys doing a lot of work. And you got bubble screens. You got different ways you can get Keon Coleman the ball. But if you were to just line Keon Coleman on the outside and expect him to turn into Stephon Diggs, is not going to be a good recipe. And I think that, the Buffalo Bills are a little smarter than that. I think they're going to find ways to give him some easy targets. And again, you have Josh Allen and a good offense that's thrown, they've, I know with Diggs, but this is a 30+ touchdown offense 3 or 4 seasons in a row. They're going to produce. And again, Keon Coleman is another guy. He's a number one on an offense. It's going pretty cheap.
Brian Thomas Jr. stock is down. I mean, where he was at, this is a much better cost. I'll definitely argue that. Pre-draft, it seems like, Thomas was definitely the more desired asset per the public here, seeing him as high as 66, whereas Coleman was, pretty even keel for the most part. So that is interesting to see, how much people were favoring him off of his collegiate acumen, but a little bit different story when you land in a crowded stable, Andrew. Lots of horses to feed, a lot of big mouths, got to eat.
yeah, I mean, he has two guys. I would say that's Ingram and Kirk. Outside of that,
ETN run heavy offense.
sure, I wouldn't say they're a run heavy offense, but they have a good back. I mean, but so do the Bills. The Bills have a good back. It's called Josh Allen.
No, that's true. He is a bit of a boulder.
Yeah, no, that's where I'm at. It just comes down to target share. Yeah, he might have 1 or 2 spike weeks, and he's just a little too pricey for a guy that you only probably get in your lineup once or twice this year.
Nope, absolutely. What are your thoughts on Ladd McConkey, who's actually sitting right in between them?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see a low pass volume offense, and so you're probably only going to see, I think McConkey's going to be the number 2. I think Josh Palmer is probably the 1.
David, I see you.
Yeah, it's not going to be one of those, you're not seeing a lot of red zone targets, which is really tough because those are money in fantasy football. And, McConkey is going to draw some pretty high attention from the defenses going where he's at. So, but again, he's probably going to get a higher target share. It may not be, a ton of targets in the Chargers, but it's been pretty concentrated to those 2 or 3 guys. And I think it's Josh Palmer. We'll see what Quentin Johnston does, but I think Ladd McConkey is easily the number 2, if not the number 1 right away.
Yeah, I'm with you all the way there, especially with the Palmer take. To me, he's the de facto number 1, the guy that I'm seeing at top depth charts, but Ladd McConkey, obviously with the higher ADP cost. Ladd, I definitely want after ADP because I feel like this is too much. And I feel like if I really want a Ladd McConkey type of guy, I don't really mind taking Roman Wilson at his ADP, which is much farther back, because I feel he'll have a similar role behind Pickens. It doesn't feel like they're going to add another receiver. I don't know if you have anything to add there with him.
No. And again, this is best ball. So we're looking for some spike weeks, some high. And I want some TD production. You are more like Ladd McConkey seems like a more like
titties?
a PPR.
You want some titties?
Maybe. But more of a PPR kind of guy. You're going to get
I feel
six catches and 60 yards, but no touchdown. He's not even touching your roster.
Absolutely. Anything to add with the Ladd McConkey there, Andrew?
No, again, somebody I'm kind of going with the 80-20 rule. I don't want to take too much by himself, but I will take him because, I mean, again, we got to remember it's so easy to stack with Herbert because he's going so much later than I honestly think he should. So, I mean, taking McConkey there, you won't have to take Herbert for quite some time yet. So I'm still fine with taking him there. But I actually like to slide in Brendan Rice at the end of drafts with Herbert. I think that's also somebody who's interesting because this is like the wild, wild west of figuring out who actually is the wide receiver 1 and 2 on this team. Why not Rice too? And I like Hugh J as well, but McConkey's he's all right. I haven't landed on the do I want him more or do I want him less fence yet? So to be determined.
It's Cornelius Johnson as well, who's he was drafted higher than Brendan Rice, and he's a Michigan guy. So Jim Harbaugh might be a little friendly to him.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do more than just being, a member of the Rice family, in my opinion. So I just, a little bit too much digging into the history or the genes. All right, next up, we got Jonathan Brooks, big climber in cost here, number 2 on the depth chart, Dave, but much higher in ADP than Chuba Hubbard. What's your read on this situation? Is this, me and Andrew are just in the expectation that, yeah, sure, Chuba will start the year. He'll be the guy. There's going to be a clear takeover of Brooks probably early, if not midseason.
Yeah, and you're going to see most rookies are going to take off the second half of the season, whether it's after the bye week or just a natural progression, after week 4, 5, 6.
Sure.
Jonathan Brooks is also coming off of an ACL injury. Asked Sebastian about this, and it's probably going to be 9 months, 8 months when the season starts. Even though he's ready to go July 1st, is he going to be fully healthy and get a full workload the first 4 or 5 weeks? If Chuba Hubbard does enough to hold the job, that could be tough. But I do think they used very high draft capital on him, and we saw what Canales' offense did with Rachaad White. This wasn't an offense that went and used a committee approach. They did use a pretty concentrated, 75-80% of the touches went to one guy, and it was very similar when he was in Seattle. And so I think that Jonathan Brooks could be a guy that at the end of the season has really good weeks. I just hope the price stays where it's at. I mean, he's going off the RB 23, 24 right now. That's a good price.
I still prefer Hubbard at his cost personally. I have a ton more Chuba than I do Jonathan Brooks.
Do you guys have a Chuba for Brooks at ADP? I was like reading that.
I do not.
What the hell does he mean?
I do not like Rob.
I do. I like Brooks. I'm looking at the end of the season. I want the guy at the end of the season who's going to be in the Canales offense, who's going to run the ball a lot, concentrated, like Dave's saying. So yeah, like I like Brooks as my third running back. Just for the end of year stuff that I think he could potentially do.
No dome games, Andrew. No dome games.
You're running the ball. Nobody cares about a dome when you run the ball.
Get hurt. You get hurt. You recreate previous injuries, Andrew. Unreal. Let's see who we got up next here. Brock Bowers.
Yep. Oh boy, spreads in the chat. Careful when that. And now you want to talk about a best ball boner for somebody. Spread.
I was going to say, don't. If you're sitting next to spread right now, you might want to move over.
he loves Brock Bowers, man, and I mean, I don't disagree, but man, there's so many other tight ends I prefer.
Look at that dip, though. Look at that fall. I mean, I don't think we can really hate the
dip
the value that we're getting. Yeah,
that's perfect, but. And they're going to use 2 tight end sets a ton.
Yes, he says, yes. Get off my couch. Yes. Dave, what are your thoughts on Bowers in his rookie season? Is this Laporta 2.0, or are we going to get a bad case of the rookie tight ends here?
Well, I think the price is giving us some room for ROI. That's what we want. When you're drafting Bowers as the 5th or 6th tight end, yeah, I'm out. But if he's going where he's at right now, I'm okay with it. I looked at some common stats that were, look at the top fantasy producing tight ends last year, and common stats were target share, air yards, and red zone targets. And I look at this team and I don't see anyone other than Devontae Adams that is going to compete with him as far as the red zone targets. Yes, Jacoby Myers is there, and Jacoby Myers probably gets more targets, but I think it's going to be a pretty similar target share, especially based on where they drafted him. And then it just comes down to, the air yards. And I like a guy like Brock Bowers that can do damage down the field. I was never in on Michael Mayer. That's not a guy for fantasy football purposes. That was never going to be a guy. But Brock Bowers is the kind of guy that can do damage down the field. And if he can get 800-900 air yards and be the second guy on the team in targets, be a top 7 tight end this year.
That hurt, David. That hurt my feelings.
I also like Michael Mayer because he's like free in drafts. You can get him as your last tight end if you're doing a 3 tight end build. I'm just going to lean into them doing a 2 tight end set. Now, I agree with you. Like Bowers is going to way out produce him, without an injury. But I still like it. You know, if they're going to do 2 tight end sets a lot, I mean, they're going to be both on the field, I think, a majority of the game, which is something I look forward to. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Bowers he's just so much better.
No, absolutely. I mean, and you just follow the draft capital, you follow money. You have to read some of the, nonverbal communication by GMs and franchises alike. So I'll take the dip here. I don't have a ton of Bowers. I've been getting more of him recently, but I see a lot of people, Dave, like you're kind of saying, like getting him a little too gassed up, a little too hyped, taking him ahead of ADP. I haven't. It's been a while since I've seen him as high as inside the top 8. But still, I've seen people move him up, 8, 10 spots, and I just go, that's gross. Sorry,
He's going ahead of
not
Goddard.
Putting yourself in a good position.
He's going ahead of Goddard and Schultz and Hawkinson.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkinson, I know the injury and all that is what people are concerned about and why he's going less. I think Schultz is definitely a regression candidate because of Stephon Diggs coming in, and if he had a full season of Tank Dell. But it is a little hard to see him going ahead of Goddard and Hawkinson. What do you think about Pat Freiermuth versus or Cole Kmet versus Bowers?
See, that's why I don't need to rush to a Brock Bowers is because one, I've probably drafted a Steeler or a Bears, or I have those late opportunities for stacks in the back end of my draft with their, a quarterback option with like a Russ Wilson, or if Caleb hasn't gone yet at that ADP, you have like those little backdoor opportunities to pair them up with someone else. Whereas Bowers, I feel like I probably want Devontae Adams already, so I would have to have him on my roster, or maybe Zamir White. And then I would want that to just kind of that situation to fall together with Bowers at value. Andrew, are you interested in Bowers like naked of any other Raider assets?
Potentially.
I think in a bubble like that, I just don't feel like we're getting a ton of upside.
It depends on how my draft's going, but yeah, potentially. I mean, they have a good schedule week 15, 16, 17, and they're in domes.
They do. They do.
So
I don't
hate that.
Green Bay, and Vegas.
You mentioned Freiermuth and Cole and Kmet. I'll definitely take him over Kmet. Freiermuth. So let me ask you: do you think Kyle Pitts had a good season last year?
No, he did miss a lot of time though.
He did, but overall, not a very productive. Even when he was in there, I don't think he was very productive. Arthur Smith now with the Steelers. I'm kind of out on Freiermuth.
Against tight ends. Arthur Smith.
I'm kind of out on Freiermuth. I mean, I'll take him like if I know I'm going to do a late Wilson stack or something of that nature. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm going to take other guys before I take Freiermuth. I will 1000% take Bowers.
Again, looking at like the key performance indicators that I was picking out, Pitts was actually number 1 in air yards. He had the only tight end with 1,000 air yards or more, but he only had 2 red zone targets. Again, he missed a decent amount of games, but then you have Jonnu Smith who took a lot of stuff that was Arthur Smith being Arthur Smith, where Jonnu Smith had more red zone targets than Kyle Pitts.
So you're saying buy Darnell Washington. Okay, Dave.
Buy Darnell Washington.
Hey, Darnell Washington, massive dude. I mean, that's a red zone guy for you right there if you ever want one.
All right, let's do one more player. We'll do Trey Benson, then we're going to get to the live draft. Appreciate everybody that's been riding along with us. Smash the like button, follow the channel, and share the video on your socials, please and thank you. Trey Benson looking to come in and spell James Conner. Dave, are you buying that Trey Benson will take over this backfield?
Yeah, Trey Benson's been my guy. I was just on the Fantasy Pros article came out today. He was my sleeper pick. It's hard to take him over guys that are starters. You see Brian Robinson, you see Gus Edwards, you see Devin Singletary, Javonte Williams. These guys are probably starters, and he's not. But if James Conner went down or James Conner got traded to the Cowboys today, Trey Benson would be a top 15 pick. And so I love this guy for Dynasty. It's a little bit harder this year, but again, you're looking for a guy that can win you your league or win you a huge tournament like this. And Trey Benson could be that guy. I think he can offer a little bit of production with James Conner there. But if James Conner were to go down, which we've seen happen, and he's on his age 29 season, it could be David Johnson 2.0.
I love Trey Benson. Love Trey Benson. He was one of my favorite. He was one of my favorite players coming into the draft. I really like him. I think that ultimately talent's going to win out. I think he's a better running back. It's going to serve a better purpose for the Cardinals than what Connor will down the stretch. And again, that's what I'm looking for in these contests, right? Like, he's not going to be if he's your 2, you might be in a little bit of trouble. Like, I want him as my 3 or my 4 or 5 on my team. At his cost and what I think he can do down the stretch, I mean, he's like a perfect fit for when you're going 0 RB in these best ball drafts. I mean, Trey Benson just, electric. And the thing that I think that kind of hurts him if he does become the guy, and the same thing for Connor, is Kyler Murray is going to run the ball around the red zone as well. So that does hurt him. But I mean, he can catch the ball. His pass blocking is fine as well. I mean, that's not going to hurt him either. So somebody I'm definitely higher on than the market.
You're getting a little bit of a dip on him too. I mean, he did recently have a spike. Go get him. Yeah, I have no issue, but I'm still double dipping. I'm not in the same draft, but I'm like weaving and bobbing. Connor Benson. Like, so if I get a share of Connor, I just next draft or two I get a Benson.
Dave, currently right now, Trey Benson, ADP 103. Somebody else that I really like, and I just want you to compare the two because they're kind of similar situations. Blake Corum, ADP 122. Who do you prefer?
Benson.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
Andrew.
I like them.
Andrew
I like them
bad.
both. But Benson's my guy. He's definitely someone that I've kind of, flag plant guy. Was just on the Optimus Fantasy launch. Trey Benson was the guy that I brought up. He's just, again, I had him as my RB1 coming in. I'm sticking to it. I think it's a great landing spot. And again, with the James Conner age, with his injury history, I think, Blake Corum's in a good spot. And both guys would be great if the guy ahead of him went down. But Trey Benson does a lot more work in the passing game. And that's why I'm giving him the nod.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I like Corum because I like them both. Don't get me wrong, I'll take both of them, but I really like Corum because Sean McVay has showed us what he's going to do with his running backs. And I mean, obviously, Kyron Williams has this foot issue, and is it lingering? Is it going to do anything? Who knows? But if Corum ever becomes the guy, he's the guy for 90% of everything, right? Like, Sean McVay does not take his guys off the field. So if he falls into the lead role for whatever reason, I think Corum will be a very big win for you if you can get him where his current ADP is right now.
Yeah, I like him too.
All right, you guys ready to draft?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. All right. So if everyone's in the chat wants to join us, we will be doing a BBMV draft. I will stick my head in and see what it is. Hopefully I don't get stuck in one, but let me stick my head in real quick and see where we're at here. Again, if you haven't used, if you have not signed up for Underdog yet, use code FANSPEAK across the bottom there. Let's see. Oh, wait, I'm getting the draft. 9 more to start. Go ahead. Fly in the drafts here.
Hopefully Dave doesn't have any location setting issues.
If he's using his phone, he shouldn't. It's only ever on the computer for me.
It's done it to my oh no, that was the iPad. So it did the iPad and the computer.
4 more. Dave, you in?
Which one am I going in?
BBM5. So BBMV. 3 more. 2 more.
1 second.
Oh geez, hurry, Dave.
2 more.
He said
One
yeah,
more.
I'm ready. 1 more.
One
God,
more.
Dave, run.
I don't know what's going on.
We're back out. You want us to back out?
Oh, draft starting soon. All right.
Are you in?
Yeah, I got one right back.
Was that a yes? Was that English?
No, he's not in here, I don't think.
Well, Dave, Bruni, bring it up. You and him put a team together.
That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
All right.
See now Bruni doesn't have to guess, which rookies are good because Dave has all the info.
Oh, that's cute. I don't take rookies this close to the NFL draft, Andrew. I let their value get established with the market. Yeah, that's how you get a lot of Tyrion Davis Price.
Oh man, yikes! Yeah, that was a rough one. At least he was at the end of draft, so it's all right. You're gonna pull up the board then. I'm looking through here. Names I recognize is of course friend of the program, Team Ram Rod in the 5 spot. We have Dickum Dilly in the 7th spot. Shout out Dickum. I'm in the 8th spot. Friend of the program, Wiles in the 10 spot. And then Bruni, you and Dave, number 12. So
nice.
now you can go ahead and take Gibbs and Harrison.
Why would I do that? I just advised against that. I don't let I don't let viewers make bad decisions. Cranberry, good song.
Do you
Good
let it
song.
linger? Yeah.
Yeah, good song. Right on. Okay, very happening.
So you might want to pull up the other way so that Dave can see who you guys are going to be trying to draft, by the way.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. All right.
Oh, relax.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
Oh, jeez. Oh, boy.
Relax.
You relax. And you don't get to call anybody any more names, Andy.
Yeah. You call me Andy. My God, no one calls me Andy.
The way that you reacted to that was like
it's just
the same way I feel like Andrew Tate would have reacted to me calling him Andy.
Just Andy. What am I, a toddler? What the fuck, Andy?
What am I, 5?
I don't write my name on the bottom of my my toys shoes.
Then why is your name on the bottom of my shoe? It's weird, bro. I don't get it. All right. Let's see, Dave. We're going to be probably looking at players like Gibbs, Marvin Harrison. We're not doing that at 11 or 12 or 12 or 13. Drake London, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon, Olave, Ayuk, Adams. We'll see what happens here. First up, we went, let's see. Ooh, a Lamb over McCaffrey to start. A little spicy to lead off the draft. Amon-Ra at 5, Jefferson at 6. I've seen a lot of Amon-Ra at 5.
About normal. Yep.
Well, normal CMC at 1. Jefferson
Dickum Dilly looks like he auto drafted. All right. Ginder
nice.
Him up.
Bold strategy. What are you thinking here, King?
Take Breece Hall.
Okay. Hey, one of your better picks. I've seen you make worse.
I'll tell you what, though. I do like Breece, but, man, I kind of like Braylon Allen. He's free in drafts. If something happens, Braylon Allen is a very serviceable running back. Dave, rookie, Braylon Allen, how we feeling?
You like bigger backs. This is
I do.
Roshan
I do.
2.0.
Clip that, Ginder. Clip that.
2.0.
Clip that.
I do. When I look for somebody with a bigger back. That is for sure.
Yeah, I got a video. I'll send you. I made a little TikTok after seeing how big Braylon Allen was.
Nice. I like that.
He's
all right, Dave. We're double tapping here. We have Puka, Harrison, London, Taylor, Barkley, Olave. I'll let you make the first pick. What are you thinking here?
Taylor,
Jonathan Taylor, week 14. Okay. Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Shout out. Same birthday as me, September 8th.
Okay. All right. Good. Very, very nice trivia knowledge there, Andrew.
Odd thing I know.
I'm just going to go Puka here. We're going to go ADP. Puka usually going at pick 9, falling to pick 13. We'll take a little bit of a value there.
Puka
game.
Shout out Fantasy Football Garage. He just started streaming as well. So if you just want to catch more drafts, go check him out on YouTube. Fantasy Football Garage. A good thing. I was watching his stream the other day, and he has some background music going on. So if you don't like dead air, he's your guy because he got some background music going on. So shout out him. Make sure you check him out. Fantasy Football Garage on the YouTube. December 12th, Frank Sinatra. That's Ginder's birthday. December 12th. Also, Jake pointing out Andrew likes big booty, and I cannot lie.
And how?
Boom.
All right. So after us went Marvin Harrison at 14, Drake London at 15, Barkley at pick 16. Dave, have you been rolling around in the streets for best ball here recently? I mean, you got any drafts in here?
Not really. That's why you saw me mess up there with the setup. But
all good.
Not messing around best ball too much. Been too busy with finishing up some rookie stuff, but we'll get into it here soon.
I got you. So yeah, we're a good ways away here at the corner. So we got 18 picks up. Probably going to be looking to double tap receiver or divert a little bit to maybe elite QB or one elite tight end. So we'll see what falls to us there.
Yeah, Michael Pittman's. There's Anthony Richardson's bringing his ADP down, and I'm totally liking the Pittman value right now. So he's a guy that kind of flashed.
I do as well, but we're probably not picking him because I have too much Michael Pittman. I'm at like 25% Michael Pittman.
I worry that if he isn't getting touchdowns outside of the red zone, that it's going to be really hard for him to get him within the red zone because they have Jonathan Taylor and Richardson's going to run the ball too. So that's my concern with Pittman. There is just
I just still see him as like the Devontae Adams of that offense. Like I just don't see anyone else as an overwhelming threat other than the run game in Taylor. And obviously, yes, like you're saying, Anthony Richardson knob gobbling some touchdowns in the red zone. I get that. But I think that the target share is going to compensate for those woes.
Could. Yeah, that's true. Fair point.
All right, 13 picks here. See how we're looking. Let's see. That would be putting us at pick 36 and 37. So, Dave, we could be looking at, like that Josh Allen, Zay Flowers, Jalen Hurts, Kelsey, ETN. We'll see if there's any falls. But, yeah, I think we're going to be able to go in a direction of elite QB or tight end if you want. Otherwise, I would say we should double tap receiver.
Yeah, I mean it's up to you. I'm always down to get that. I do believe in getting. I think you get some late quarterback value if you want to get those big weeks. But tight end, I know it always seems like we always have a lot of tight ends. It's just so much easier when you have confidence in the tight end position.
We'll definitely star up Richardson. We'll see where he's looking at it at our ADP. I don't think we would be able to pick him with this selection, but I don't know. I don't know if he'd fall to us at the next one, but I don't want to reach for him at 4 either. Let me see where he's at. He's at pick 56, so 20 picks. It'll be very close. It'll be very close if he falls to us. I don't know if any of these degenerates in this lobby are going to let it happen. We'll see. I don't see the king of Quebec in here, so I mean, I don't get sniped.
Looks like I just looked at Ginder's team. I saw him take Laporta. He has the Detroit, San Francisco.
Yep,
stack in there. So.
I've done that. That's pretty common.
Yeah. Just
Ginder, not rewriting the best ball Bible tonight. Okay. All right, Dickham on the board.
Oh, he's going to take Devontae Smith because he's a big Eagles fan, and off the board he goes.
Yep, there you go. Good call, Andrew.
Man, it's like sometimes just like people, right?
Yeah.
Oh man. Jeez.
What are you gonna do, King?
I don't know. I mean, damn. You know what? Just because Dave's on here and Dave talked Neighbors up a little bit, I'll take Neighbors. First share of Neighbors
at ADP.
There we go.
Oh, after ADP, 4 picks after ADP. Buy the dip, Malik Neighbors. Let's go.
Buy the four dip.
Dave. Oh, there he goes. I was gonna say, Dave. Pittman's about to fall to us. I mean, if we got Taylor, screw it. let's just do it. Let's get another one.
Dickham saying, "Go Birds."
Go Birds. Man, I dislike the Eagles, but their fans are hilarious. They just do such a good job. I love their troll factor. I really do.
Is that what you call that?
Their ability to troll people is amazing.
Another Wiles also a big Birds fan. He took Hurts and Brown, so he has the stack there. It's nice.
Okay. Yeah, Hurts is my QB1 this year. I would have definitely pounded the table for him a little bit, but
Dave, we're up here. We got Josh Allen, Zay Flowers, Kelsey, Tank Dell, ETN. Fire away. Any one of those guys. Your pick. Go ahead.
Yeah, give me Kelsey.
All right, there you go. Elite tight end. All right, and then we're on the board again. I mean, if you want to, we could just take Mahomes right here. It's ahead of ADP, but I don't care.
Do it.
All right, let's ride. Got 1-1-1 to start. Not recommended, but don't do as we do. Do as we say.
You're well rounded, right? I mean, isn't that what they say?
Oh no, I mean, dude. I could start off with 4 tight ends and be just fine. All right. This is what we do here on the Fanspeak Network. Just pound the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Let's go. And look at that. We forced Lamar Jackson up the board. Let's go. Just kidding. That guy also just took Derrick Henry, who me and Dave were probably going to take if he was available.
Yeah,
I don't have enough Henry, so I would have been okay going 2-2.
Henry would have been very interesting to pair with Jonathan Taylor, but again, going with the Kelsey Mahomes stack, you're gonna have some monster weeks there.
Yeah, we're fine. Dave and I are splitting $1.5 million. All right, King, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna respond to that?
So I'm looking at these wide receivers, in consideration here for me is Dell, Higgins, Cooper, and Kirk. Kind of don't want Pickens here. Oh, I don't have a lot of Dell. He was huge on him last year, but damn, he goes around these guys. Like the targets is what worries me a little bit.
I like Pickens and Higgins more than Dell right now. That's just
yeah,
me.
I'm taking Higgins. I feel like
I just saw you
Dell
take
has
Higgins the other
to.
day.
Yeah, Dell has to go down a little bit, right? I mean, there's so many players that are going to catch balls right there. I mean, it's just I don't know. I feel like Dell has to slide a little bit. He's probably going to land more in the 50s than where he's at right now, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we talk about target share. There's a lot of targets to go around, so it's big pizza. But your Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, and then Dalton Schultz is really the red zone guy, and Joe Mixon's going to get his share. I really not to give away the potential next pick, but Joe Mixon's definitely somebody that I am a big fan of this year in that offense. Just the way that the team utilized the running back last year, and then the fact that they made a conscious effort to go get a running back in free agency speaks a lot. And then pay him. PFF Bobby.
Let's go. Up in 13 picks. Andrew really wanted to get that back up on the board.
Andy, I'm just oh man, it's gonna haunt me.
Oh, that's awesome. What am I, 5? That's the best response ever. Oh. Andy catches balls a lot. You tell him, Kinder. You tell him, Kinder. Preach it. All right, 12 picks up here. I want to be able to look at the dang board, but I got to have this thing up. So
I said, well, you can slide it. You can choose it,
I just want to see it for myself, Andrew.
Just hit the board thing and pull it up. And then you can swap back and forth.
Just hit the board thing.
First time on the job here or what?
I don't use this screen, Andrew. I don't use this screen.
That's okay. I have no room to talk. When Spread and I were doing this and I was controlling the board, it was awful. Dave, we by accident auto picked Tua in the 50s. He goes like 112. Yeah, it was bad.
That happens. That happens to the best of us.
I'm not the best navigator when it comes to streaming and drafting on the pewter. So,
bro, we could have seen this huge avalanche in round 2 if we had the board up. Look at this. I didn't even see this. There was one running back in round 2. 4 running backs in round 1, or 5 running backs in round 1. That's abnormal.
Yeah, receivers drying up pretty quickly. And I thought that our Kelsey pick would have maybe start a little bit of a tight end run.
No, we're good. No, we're good. We'll be all right. People saw us doing what we were doing, Dave, and they said, "Oh, right, those guys. They think they know what they're doing." That balance looking lonely there. Yeah, it might be. We're not done yet, Rob. We're not done yet, King.
It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish.
Giggity.
Let's get it.
We are definitely double tapping receiver here. Hoping maybe.
Are you though? Because you got somebody. Never mind.
No, we are double tapping. We are absolutely double tapping receiver. We have to make up for it at this position in the draft. Because if we wait till that next turn, there's going to be a far bigger dip.
Yeah.
Far bigger dip. So yeah, we're double tapping here, and I definitely have some guys up. We're 5 picks away. I don't know if we get Hollywood, but oh, yep, there he goes. Thank you, Dickum. Keenan, Reed, Worthy, Ridley.
Right there in a couple rounds.
Yeah, Godwin, any of these guys. We're double tapping this section for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how many guys are in the chat. I do like Jaden Reed this year. Fourth most fantasy points per snap last year. I really like his red zone usage, and I like the way you really want to see where teams are designing plays for this guy. I know that Dontavian Wicks and all these other guys are involved. Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson can't seem to stay healthy. Jaden Reed seems like the safest pick, and I like him.
Is like Jake like watching from like around the corner in the living room or something?
No, but him and Ginder and I do draft together sometimes, and if Ginder gets sniped on something, he does tend to get a little angry about it, and I think that brings great pleasure to Jake.
Sniped right, so, on Jaden Reed.
Yeah, that's fine because we're gonna go Calvin Ridley for sure. In this spot, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm okay taking any of these guys right here because
You're not going to let Dave take Mixon? He just talked him up.
You want to take Mixon right here, Dave?
You can go receiver if you want. It's up to you.
No, they both have week 14 buys, him and Taylor, and we're under the gun here. We're gonna go
Coleman.
All right, we'll go Coleman. That's fine. He's got a week 12. Yeah, that early on, I didn't want the top 2 running backs to be both week 14.
I get it.
Yeah, that's fine. And any of those running backs there, I've already taken a lot of Walker, Kamara, Monty, Jones. Like that's all good. I was gonna say that I would tell people in that instance just to take Deontay Johnson, but I have so much Deontay Johnson. It's ahead of ADP, but I just don't care. It's like 16 picks ahead of ADP. That's a round and a half.
Video before this, Deontay Johnson bounce back candidate. I definitely I like the situation there. That team's going to be playing from behind quite a bit, throwing the ball a lot. And, Bryce Young, I know it was a really bad season last year, but that offensive line was just so bad. There was really no help. And then the team was quite the mess, firing the coaches, week 6, week 7.
Mm-hmm. Not as bad as DC's offensive line, but yeah, it's pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Pretty not good. Ginder in the chat saying, when I dip, you dip, we dip. You got a dip?
We all dip.
That's right. Put your hands up on your hips.
Got a dip? Got a dip? For what? No Shoresy fans? It's okay.
Shoresy.
It's great. It's a great television show. It's not an American show. It's a Canadian show, but it's fantastic.
Ginder tries to get me to watch that show all the time.
Well, Ginder's a smart cat. He knows all about the culture. When people say do it for the culture, they're just saying do what Ginder says. Do it for the culture. Do what Ginder says. Going to get that naked Mahomie? No, we got Kelsey. What are you talking about?
I did think you were going to take Worthy there. I saw you had your finger on the trigger.
I thought we were taking Worthy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Rashee Rice might be available next time we pick. It might be worth a shot if you want to do the triple stack.
Yeah, I don't mind. We'll see though. I still feel like we need some work on receiver. Jonathan Taylor just may need to be our hero.
Hero RB.
Yep. There's just going to be a lot of value. We're up in 9 picks.
Hero RB.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trey Benson's going to be available.
Trey Benson will be available for sure.
But not as our RB2.
Probably not as our RB2 now.
What are your thoughts on Zach Moss in that offense? I'm not a Chase Brown guy. Mm-hmm. I know Zach Moss has very who is the Carolina running back that went to Atlanta with the huge quads?
Mike Davis?
Davis.
Yeah.
But Zach Moss was just so good last year. And that Bengals offense with Joe Burrow and the squad, like he's not going to a team that's going to have like stacked boxes. I think like Zach Moss is a very good, like he's a solid 0 RB kind of candidate. Devin Singletary is another guy.
I kind of like Jamison Williams at this next pick, Dave, and then maybe a running back. So we'd be at 1, 2, 4, 1. Receivers are JSN, Rashee Rice, Jamison. Those are the top 3. Running backs, we've got Stevenson, White, Najee, and Swift.
We talked about Arthur Smith and no red zone targets. I know Najee is – everyone loves to hate on Najee, but I could see him having a pretty high TD count this year.
Agreed. Yes.
Yeah, Jamison Williams goes a couple picks ahead of us. So we'll pick best. Well, it doesn't matter because we're double tapping. What do you want to do here for? We'll take running back and Rice. Yeah, just man. You want to draft my team, Andrew? Unreal.
No, but I'm just throwing it out there. Oh shit!
And there he goes.
Free Willy. I don't even think Free Willy's in the chat.
That happened with Jaden Reed as well, right? Last round.
You want to go Najee, Zamir, or Stevenson?
What receivers are available?
Oh shit!
They're way down there.
Lockett,
Sutton,
Samuel.
Lockett,
I mean, You can pick one of these guys. You go with running back.
All right, I'm gonna throw in Najee, and that'll buy us some time on the. There you go. Oh, there's Najee. That'll buy us a little bit more time on receiver. Sutton. I mean, the receivers really don't have any bye week issues. Sutton, Lockett are fine. Samuel's, well, not ideal because we already have Coleman. Dobbs. You want to go? Who was I about to say? Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, Lockett or Sutton have some spike weeks. I know we got.
I don't have a lot of Lockett, so we'll toss him in there. Get some younger guys to back up that foursome. It's not the best foursome, but I like the group around them and Kelsey, Mahomes, and Taylor to lead off, so we can work with that. It's going to be a unique lineup, that's for sure. It's a weird draft. Just look at this weird-looking board and how it started. It's ridiculous. Whew, that's tough. Whew, that's tough.
Dave, I know it's not a rookie, but how do you feel about Ramondre Stevenson this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a volume play. But again, I like running backs on good offenses, and he's not, not on good offense. He's another guy he might be the best player on that team. Antonio Gibson's there, offers a little bit of a threat, but you know, how often can that team sustain drives? How many goal line opportunities is he going to get? I think that Ramondre Stevenson is probably going to make his hay in the check downs. You know, Jacoby Brissett checking it down, Drake May when he gets in there checking it down, and so PPR formats seems to be fine, but it's going to be based on a lot of targets. You know, similar to what we saw with, you know, Najee Harris, his rookie season with Big Ben just giving him 100 targets.
Check, baby. Check 1, 2.
Oh, man. It gets tough right here.
Is it not easy, Andrew?
You know what? I'm going to take Warren. I've drafted a ton of Najee and not a lot of Warren. So let's go Warren there and hope Arthur Smith does what he did last year and just use both running backs a ton.
Followed up by Mr. Jordan Love. Wiles is one of your buddies?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I've seen him. Free Willy in drafts. Dickham. Dilly.
Dickham, dilly. Get him.
Dickham, dilly. You're lucky I almost led the show off with Andy Raub.
Jeez, nice.
But I didn't do that.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I want to know something really embarrassing. My mom calls me Drew Poop.
Drew Poop?
Yeah, like she calls me Drew a lot.
And then Poop?
Yeah, Drew Poop.
Yeah, because you were shitting your pants.
I can't tell you which one's worse, that or Andy.
Damn, that's not a lot of praise for Andy, man.
Also, every time I look behind Dave, I always think he has a lightsaber behind him.
Is it?
No, it's not. But it just every time I look behind him, I get lightsaber vibes. I like it.
It's like a lightsaber the size of a wall. It's like a.
Yeah, what's the guy? I don't watch that. What's the guy who has like the Revenge from the Sith guy? What the hell's his name?
You know what his name is. Stop it.
I really don't. I've never watched.
You know what his name is. Stop it.
Never watched.
Somebody in the chat help us out.
Stop it.
I do not know. While people are watching Star Wars, I'm drafting best ball teams. So
you know who Darth Maul is.
Is that what it is?
Don't play.
Darth Maul of America. Nice.
Darth Maul of America. All right. Round 9 started off Raheem Mostert, Cortland Sutton, Brock Bowers, Nick Chubb. Chubb feels a little early, no?
Mostert.
Does seem early for Chubb.
Is it really ever early for Chubb? I think we all have early Chubb.
Early Chubb, late Chubb. Drive home from work Chubb.
Mike Raub throwing in here. You guys like any of those underdog pick'em season totals for rookies? I can't do pick'ems in PA. Bruni can't do pick'ems. Dave, can you do pick'ems?
I can. I haven't looked at them yet though.
If you throw some of the numbers our way, Mike, we can definitely attack them. I usually do those picks the closer we get to the NFL season. I did them last year, and I included a lot of rookies. If you get the right number, I mean, you definitely go after it. Trey Benson off the board.
Ginder pointing out Chubb 19 picks early. I mean, that's again, I put out on Twitter, yesterday or this morning that Jerome Ford is just grossly underpriced.
Yep.
RB 41 for a guy who's at least going to start the season. And I mean, if Chubb doesn't play 6, 8, 10, 12, however many games, like Ford is just an absolute steal right now. And I don't understand why he's not climbing up the board more already.
Yeah. So
Dave, hang on 1 second. Pick a receiver, Dave. Let's see. We have weeks 6, 5, 12, 10. So we've got Dobbs, Williams, Shaheed, Mitchell, Palmer. I kind of like Palmer in this group.
I
What
like
do you
Palmer.
think? Okay, we're on the same page then. And then running back, we're looking at Javonte, B. Rob. I kind of like Eckler here, or we could do Palmer, Edwards stack if you want.
Yeah, I like Gus Bus. A lot of TDs.
All right, cool. A lot of titties. Yeah, let's go.
Gus Bus does like the TDs.
Let's go. I've been drafting a lot of Eckler in that ADP.
So the first one that pops up is Jaden Daniels, higher or lower than 19.5 passing touchdowns.
Ooh, probably lower.
Under, yeah, it's an under.
31
lower.
50, so 3,150.5 passing yards.
Under.
500.5 rushing yards.
Over.
I like that. I like that.
Over.
I like
Marvin
a
Harrison
nice 600,
Jr.
650.
Marvin Harrison Jr., 7.5 receiving touchdowns, 1,075.5 receiving yards.
Under
like
on the
yards.
Under on the touchdowns, but I probably wouldn't touch the yards. I just wouldn't touch it because in 18 games, if he plays every game, like a wide receiver 1, you know what I mean? Like it's not impossible. But even if he played every game, I could see him finishing undering the touchdown total.
JJ McCarthy, 20.5 passing touchdowns, higher or lower? I'm surprised this is higher than Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I am, because Jaden Daniels will be the starter week 1. We have no idea if McCarthy's going to be the guy or not for first handful of weeks, first 4 or 5 weeks. He may be on the bench.
Malik Neighbors, 5.5 receiving touchdowns, 900.5 receiving yards.
I'll take the over on yards. What do you like that, Andrew, or no?
Yeah, I think I would take the over or the higher.
I would be much more inclined to take that over on yards than I would be Harrison.
He says they got Brock Bowers with an over under on yards 650.5 and Neighbors higher lower 600 or 900.5 yards. The Bowers one I probably like the over. The Neighbors one is I like lower on that one.
Yeah.
Those are some high, and that's typically what I see is like pretty high numbers for a lot of people. I really like going after the low numbers there. Like if you start looking at some of the players that have much lower ADP, like in your draft rooms versus what their numbers are on the pick'ems, I think you'll find some nice correlation there.
They got Bo Nix at 17.5 passing TDs, higher or lower.
Under that, smash under Bo Nix.
2,850.5 passing yards. They have Brian Thomas very close to Neighbors, and they got a spicy pick. So you can get higher or lower than 5.5 receiving yards, or you can do the higher for 800
touchdowns. He meant touchdowns.
Yeah, he meant touchdowns. Okay.
Sorry, receiving touchdowns. Yeah, that's not a special.
I was gonna say, like, man, take that 5.5 over yards.
5.5 receiving TDs, higher or lower, and then the higher for 800.5 receiving yards is a spicy 1.05 or lower 0.9. So they're saying that 0.9 has less than 1 odds.
Higher.
Caleb Williams is set at 23.5 and then 3650.5.
Caleb Williams, what was that one more time?
23.5 passing TDs.
I'll take over.
Yeah, Daniel Jones at 24.
I think 25 is well in his range. Yeah.
Daniel Jones had 24 in like 13 games.
Mike Robb says Worthy has a spicy of over 800.5 receiving yards. How do you guys feel about that one?
Probably no. Probably staying off.
Lower.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't bet it. I don't think there's a reason to take a stand at that pick.
Adunze 750.5. And then Brock Bowers. So then they go to the defensive rookies and then the veterans.
Spread asking us some deep dive question here. Deshaun Watson contract or morality? They fucked up. I'll just say that they should have spent that money on Aaron Rodgers. Just saying. That's pretty much what I told every Browns fan that I spoke to. I'm like, hey, So Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers are going to be free next offseason. You should be going after Aaron Rodgers. That's a franchise like turnaround guy, not Deshaun Watson.
Could have waited on Kirk Cousins, or they could have just kept Baker Mayfield and got him for half the price.
Oh, and just got a better offensive coordinator. How about that? All right, Dave, we're 4 picks away here. What are your thoughts on grabbing Herbert if he's available? We get him stacked up with Palmer and Edwards, and we have a nice little pairing of Mahomes and Herbie.
Yeah, I mean, unless you really like somebody, I mean, I think we're pretty shallow on running backs if we could look.
Let's see here. I don't know if it's a good spot for him. Like looking at Zach Charbonnet.
Marshawn Lloyd is interesting. Kendre Miller is a little interesting, but no one I'm really juiced up about.
Yeah, not at this ADP with all the names above him, because we still have a need at receiver still. Like we're not well off.
What about Jermaine Burton?
I think he's much farther down. Yeah, he's much farther down. I mean, personally, I would rather have Wicks.
Yeah, he's further down than I thought.
Yeah, like Wicks, or who else do we have? Not Jerry Jeudy, unless you have a compelling argument for Jerry Jeudy.
Big game Gabe.
Gabe, I'm okay with that. Let's see here.
We're pretty set with Mahomes that we could wait on quarterback, I think.
All right, yeah, we'll wait on QB then. So based on
our running back and receiver needs.
Let's double tap receiver then. Let's do Wicks and Gabe.
No Herbert for you guys, huh?
I've gotten a bunch of Herbert the past couple of days, so I'm okay with it. We did just take Palmer and Gus, but I'm okay with that. The money making here is Kelsey and Mahomes, and we took a stand early. I mean, that's not 1-1-1 is not a normal start, and I'm actually liking how this team is turning out. Grabbing the double tap receiver there makes me feel a lot better about this group, because we definitely need to walk away with 8 or 9, in my opinion. So.
Yeah.
Not having to touch receiver for a minute feels good. And we're open for a potential, I don't know if we do a Pittsburgh, but we could do a Geno. We could do, I don't think Trevor's going to fall to us, but we'll get some other back end for our QB2. There will be opportunities. What are you doing, Andrew?
It's a good question, man.
Over here monologuing about our team. All right. You should just keep your eyes on your own package. All right.
I see what this guy's doing. I always watch my package.
I know you do. Jaden Daniels. That's your QB.
Sir.
What?
Yes, sir.
What is going on here in this wild build? Glass house much? Kyle Pitts, David Njoku. Oh my God. What?
Yeah, man. What? Don't you worry. We'll replay this when I sit with $1.5 million.
Well, we'll definitely replay this if someone wins $1.5 million from this draft. This will be one of the more commonly watched videos in the best ball community. If anyone from this stream wins $1.5 million. So Dickham, Quentin Johnston.
I like that.
Right.
I like Johnston.
All right. Ahead of ADP? I don't know. I don't know if I do ahead of ADP.
And you see that the rookies are starting to come up with Jermaine Burton and Roman Wilson. But, what are your thoughts on the Cowboys running back situation? Do you think they actually go and trade for somebody? Do you think Zeke is a volume play?
No.
I actually don't hate Zeke just because of how Underdog has scored with touchdowns. They may just put him in there. They're like, you're not touching the field unless we're within the 20-yard line. It's kind of a mess. It is a good offense.
You want cheap pieces on good offenses, and like it's a good offense. I do think that there is, like, you look at some of these rosters, like you look at the Jets, they have a depth chart where some good running back is going to be squeezed off that depth chart. Isaiah Davis, Israel Abanikanda. You look at the Niners, there's definitely some running backs that could hit the market. Miles Sanders could get squeezed out and end up on the Cowboys. Like, I think that there's another running back that ends up on the Cowboys that, probably shares the load, but I just
Jerick McKinnon
could be.
Okay,
could be
Khalil Herbert.
There you go. There you
Josh
go.
Kelly is probably the best free agent running back right now, and Kareem Hunt, and so those guys are out there. But I think that somebody that's on a roster right now ends up there. Oh, and Dalvin Cook's also available.
Could you see Kareem Hunt spelling Zeke Elliott in that offense? Oh my God! I mean,
imagine
the amount of
that,
naps that would take place during Cowboys games would be at an epic high.
2018 throwback with Kareem Hunt, Dalvin Cook, and Zeke Elliott running. That three-headed monster.
I forgot about Dalvin. Dalvin could get the call. He says he's not washed. He specifically says, "I'm not washed. Pick me."
He's available.
Pick me.
Got dark.
Whoa,
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Dave went dark on us, literally.
Yeah.
Okay, so what the hell's happening with
30.
Trevor? Never mind. There we go. I was gonna say, it's like, Jesus, holy 119, and he went 147.
Nice.
Sweet steal there. Me be bored too.
Me be bored too.
Okay. That's great. I was considering taking him if he's still there. I'm like, well, why not?
That was one of the better parts of the Tom Brady roast. Even Gronk knows me know not that real money. That was fantastic. All right, so we'll definitely be looking at a running back here, Dave. Maybe tight. Well, yeah, really anything but receiver. So see what we get here. I like Gibson potentially right here. I like Jaleel McLaughlin. I like Chuba. I'm not a big Keandre Miller guy or Jalen Wright, if you want to talk about those guys a little bit.
Kendra is the guy I'm interested in. I think Jamal Williams is washed. And we saw what happened last year. Alvin Kamara is a guy that, he's probably going to beat somebody up. I think Alvin Kamara is going to be fine. So Kendra Miller is more of a handcuff situation. Tyler Algier is a very interesting, like if you're looking for somebody that's a high value handcuff, that's the territory we're in. I mean, none of these guys are going to have much standalone value. Unless somebody goes down.
Spread. Who am I taking? Spread. Let the chat know. Spread. Who am I taking?
There's a lot of love for Ray Davis on the dynasty streets, but he's also like about to be 25 years old. Like he's an older running back, and I always get concerned about older running backs. They dominated in college because they're sometimes 6 years older than the people they're playing against.
From the kids.
We saw it with Abraham out of Minnesota a couple years ago. Davis is a good running back, and he goes to Buffalo, which is a good landing spot. But if here, I like Roman Wilson. I know we don't want to go with a running back,
a receiver.
McLaughlin would be the other guy.
All right, good, because that's the guy that I was telling Spread to scream in the chat.
Yeah, McLaughlin or Chuba.
Jalil. We can go both. So there's Jalil, got him, and Chuba, my man. Glad to know I'm not the only one on the Chuba train. I like our group. I mean, again, it's not the strongest receiver group, but we're going to be deep. We got Mahomes, Taylor, Najee, Gus, Jalil, Chuba. I'm perfectly fine with that running back group. Puka, Calvin, Keon, Lockett, Palmer, Wicks, Gabe. I mean, again, like there's only a few potential lead options here, like right out of the gate that we are confident in, but a lot of options for spikes, a lot of options for some variable change for sure. Favorable variable change, I would say. Started out with the Ed session, finishing with the Chubb. Good job, guys. Mike, you are a diamond, Mike. You are nailing it tonight. If you could just call Andrew Andy, I think you would just touch them all. It's just
we call that a full circle.
There we go. So Deshaun Watson contract morality. I took Deshaun Watson. I'll take the terrible contract.
It's gross. It's terrible. It's the worst contract I've ever seen for a guy that for the guy that got sued for getting rub downs. You're not. I mean, you just mind your manners and you get a nice little rub down. You know what I'm saying? But you had to take it a little too far. You had to get a little too personable.
Yeah, and the guys, the worst part about that, not the worst part. That's probably a bad way to put this, but they're doubling down and giving the guys that made that decision extensions.
That's awesome. That's great.
So,
Gotta love that.
the Browns went and made the decision to spend all that draft capital and money and invest on Deshaun Watson, knowing what he did. It's not like they didn't know. They knew.
They knew.
They knew.
Every NFL team knows. Every NFL team has the Ray Donovan. Come on now.
And they doubled down, and now they're going to be now they're going to be extending those guys that made that decision. When the owner didn't even show up to the press conference, he just let the head coach deal with it.
It's hilarious.
Andrew trying to average a felony per player on his team.
I
also
have position. There it is. There it is. Spread. There it is. Spread. Let's get our 40% McLaughlin going now here. Let's get our 40% going here. Big Jalil fans over here at the Fanspeak Network. Glad to be surrounded by such intelligent people. Poor Javonte. Poor Javonte. He can't take it. All right, Dave. So we're looking at QB and tight end here. We could potentially get Geno and have him stacked up with Lockett, but we also have some late round potential pairings. We could do Bryce Young and Jatavian Sanders. I'm going to get your opinion on him in a second. I was going to say Will Levis and Chig, but there goes Will Levis and Johnson and Otten. Those were two options to pair with Carr and Baker, who is not available anymore. I had him queued up. I think Baker may have gone too. So the options are getting limited here. What do you want to do? Do you want to try to target Geno and pair him up with Lockett? No conflicting buy there with Mahomes? Or do you want to maybe try to do one of these like pairings, like a Bryce and Sanders? I don't think we actually have another pairing other than that, actually, based off of. We could do Fant. We could throw Fant in there with Geno.
You could.
I don't love that as much as I like.
I'd rather
Sanders
go
and
with an upside
Young.
play like Likely than I would Fant.
Okay.
But yeah,
well,
Geno.
We can't take Likely this far. Oh, he is right here, actually. He is right here.
Fant just stinks. Yeah, I'm good with Geno here. I do think there's a little bit of Sam Howell in the rearview mirror there, but I do really like the offensive coordinator upgrade there. It's going to be a much different offense in that, with the Washington coordinator coming over.
Here. 2. Everybody except for Boone Walker has 2 QBs. Let me know when we're up. Give me 1 second.
You're going to be up next.
Yeah, I know, guy. That's why I asked my partner to let me know. All right, guy. Unreal.
Hey, you're up.
Went? Shut up. Let's just go Geno here.
Herbert won.
Okay, so let's just go Geno here, and then we can talk about another. We don't need to take tight end right here. You like Wandale or dare I say Luke McCaffrey, Demario Douglas, Demarcus Robinson, or we can just do Fant. I'm good with that too. We'll definitely be taking a third tight end.
I like Demario Douglas, but Tyrone Tracy's there. Giants looking for playmakers. That's a guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield. One of those rookies with some upside.
Fuck, we're gonna go Fant. Nope, auto picked. Too much banter.
Too much banter. Who do we get? Bryce Young?
Bryce Young.
It's all right. We'll try to back it up with Sanders. We will try. We may have to be fine with our 7 receivers, but I think they're okay. I like Fant more than Likely. Yeah, it's a tough pick just because Likely is just super valuable if there is an injury to anyone. Not even just Andrews at this point. Like they do use him as a weapon, and he has a very good familiarity with Lamar. But we'll try for Sanders. What are your thoughts on Jatavian potentially taking over as a high volume or quality volume play for the Panthers?
I mean, again, rookie tight ends, it's just does not happen. I know Sam Laporta and Kincaid happened last year, but Sanders, I think he's going to have so he does a great job when he gets the ball in his hand and he's running a straight line, but he does not do a great job of you look at the reception perception, it's just not great. I think he's going to have to develop more. I just don't see him hitting the ground and running. And then you got Bryce Young, who we've not really seen prop up anybody as far as fantasy production. And Jatavian Sanders, again, looking at those markers that I'm talking about, I don't think he's going to get a target share or a red zone target amount that is going to blow anybody away.
That said, we all love him. We all love him over here at Fanspeak. Jatavian Sanders is our late round tight end guy. So just ignore everything Dave said. I'm just kidding.
I could be totally wrong. I mean, he's definitely a guy with a lot of athletic traits.
It's all for us. It's just about like the path to production. There's other than Thielen, there's really not that much of an obstacle, with the guys that are ahead of him. And who there can you really trust other than the potential new guy, Tommy Tremble.
Thielen.
Well, yeah, we just mean it like at tight end. Yeah, Deontay and Thielen for sure.
I'm not worried about
me.
Thielen, Thomas, or Tommy Tremble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Thielen.
Yes. See, if Andrew says, "Oh, you don't have to worry about Thielen," then there's nothing to worry about apparently. So
that's I got a few shares of Sanders in Dynasty. Nice little late third or early fourth round guy.
I don't know what that means, Ginder.
Jake Wiles, Jake from State Farm.
That's just I don't get it. Just because his name's Jake.
I'm assuming yes.
Jake from State Farm. Got you. Your roommate?
That's how his roommate.
Let's see. We are 13 picks away. I don't know if any. There goes Chig. We'll see if old Jake from State Farm is correct. Yeah, he's never heard that one. That is so funny, Ginder. He's never heard that one. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like if he walked in the room with like a red polo and khakis, then like it was like, holy shit, it's Jake from State Farm. Like, like that plays. That's like someone would be like, Justin Bieber. Like, yeah, that's right. I share that name with him and Justin Timberlake and Justin Thoreau and all sorts of different Justins out there, actually. So yes, that is my name, and that is also the name of some few famous people. Like Michael Jordan. Ten picks away.
Man, this part in the draft has definitely changed over the last few weeks. Like just people being pulled up the board more than they were. People being shoved down the board. Definitely interesting now.
Yeah, well, we're still going to be honing in on Sanders potentially, and I don't know, probably another tight end. Probably do. What do you think? Oh man, I don't know if I like the other tight ends. We might need to grab maybe some Tyler Boyd or DJ Chark. Any of these late round targets you're liking here, Dave?
Not really.
Zay Jones, Tolbert, Devontae Walker. I like Devontae Walker a lot. I've taken a lot of them though. Tyler Boyd, Chark, Slayton is still a good value to me. Jalen McMillan's fine. Like anyone to Jalen McMillan, I'm good with at receiver. And then tight end, I mean, for me, it's just Sanders. I guess I'm okay throwing into Gesicki. But if we do Gesicki, I want Sanders too, probably.
Yeah. You got Kraft there, but Musgrave is going much higher. We don't really know what that's going to look like.
Kraft just got hurt too, didn't he?
I'm not sure.
I thought he got like some type of, let me see if it's up there. I thought he got like some type of recent injury out until training camp. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. We don't need a running back. We're good at 5.
Yeah, like I said, Gesicki's a guy. We've seen that offense utilize the tight end. They turned, even last year, we had some random tight ends that were showing up. We got the T. Higgins situation. Tyler Boyd's out of town. I know there's Islavis and Jermaine Burton, which Islavis is a nice little late round dart throw. But I would go with Gesicki over those other guys just for the upside being on that good offense. And we've seen that offense produce tight ends before.
I'll take it. We'll go Gesicki Sanders if Free Willy so wills it to us. 2-6-6-2. Free Willy. Devontae Walker. Oh, real original. Never seen that one.
Yeah, you'll once we get the official word on Darren Waller retiring, you might hear some Theo Johnson love in the streets.
I've taken him once.
Yeah, he's huge, dude. I don't know if he's necessarily going to be someone that produces on a weekly basis, but big catch radius, athletic guy, really good athletic profile.
Shout out Penn State.
Shout out Penn State. On a team with not a lot of options, so there is a little bit of a path for Theo Johnson, but again, I don't know how much of a route runner he is.
Shout out Kelsey Plum, tight end killer. She kills tight ends. She kills them. She stabs them and leaves them to rot on the beach and drowning themselves in the ocean.
Yeah, just waves hitting his face and a terrible song in the background.
She's a peaky fucking blinder. I love it. It's hard to love in this life, It's hard to love.
I know there's a lot of love for Ben Sinnott, but what about Zach Ertz?
I've taken a round 18 Zach Ertz. I've done that. It's again, do as I say, not as I do. I do not recommend it, but by all means, if you got a couple of quality guys ahead of them. I did pick up N'Keal Harry in Dynasty just to see if I can get some extra tight end exposure on my really bad tight end teams or my really bad flex teams. Zach Ertz. I watch this stream for Andrew's takes, says Andrew Raub. Wow, that is the most Andy thing ever. That is the most Andy Dwyer thing I've ever seen.
Andy Dwyer.
I watch this show for my opinions.
I'm still waiting for Johnny Wilson to make the move to tight end.
Interesting. That would be interesting.
Chase Claypool went.
Rest in. He's been getting that gas.
Chase finally made the move.
Still early, Jake. Still early. They literally just changed his position. It's not going to happen. No way that guy just took Michael Thomas. Oh no. Were you sniped?
He's charming soft.
That line is so overused.
It's true though. I stubbed my toe. I'm out for 2.5 years.
He comes back for a game or two.
Sure,
scores 2 touchdowns and then leaves.
He has to keep getting paid.
It's a good situation. It keeps your dominator score through the roof. Hey, you're one to talk. You just took Khalif Raymond, guy. Relax. Calling people out when you're taking freaking Khalif Raymond. Just chill out with the glass house there, Andy.
I didn't take Khalif Raymond, by the way.
Oh, you didn't?
No, that was Ginder, wasn't it?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah.
No, it was you. Oh, Team Ramrod. That's Ginder. Sorry. It's hard. I get you guys confused.
Psych.
All right. Well, we're grading Ginder's team first. We're looking at Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, good QB combo. I like that. Isaiah Pacheco, Monty, James Conner, Jerome Ford, Keandre Miller, Damian Pierce. Pretty good stable. The ADP values are pretty solid. Jerome Ford a little bit ahead, but no problem. We also saw Chubb go 17 picks ahead, so all good there. The rest of the guys at ADP, nice. Amon-Ra, Ayuk, nice little week 17 correlation there. Terry Scary, love that. Right at ADP. Xavier Worthy after ADP. Gets a little messy back here with Pearsall, Corley, Demarcus Robinson, and Raymond, but you have a little bit more. No, they play the Cardinals week 17, but they play in a dome. That's nice. I'm trying to look for any other correlation. You have the San Francisco backup Pearsall for Detroit, not bad. And then Raymond again in that mix as well. And then Sam Laporta, Ben Sinnott. Yeah, you got him at a discount, so that's nice. But I think you do take Zach Ertz there. I kind of like doing that. And I don't know about you, Andrew, if you saw that I posted the other day. I show you mine, you show me yours. You go elite tight end and then back it up with 2 tight ends, like the last 2 picks. Ben Sinnott wouldn't fit that. But you do 2 guys from the same team as essentially your number 2 tight end. I did it with Trey McBride and the Chargers tight ends.
Yeah,
I'll give this 7.3. Still good. Still good draft.
That's funny. I was going to give him a 7.3 as well. So that's funny. We're right on the mark there. But so to talk about what you just said, I think that's an okay thing to do. I understand why you want to do it. The issue I have with it is your taking a tight end at the end of drafts that we probably don't think is going to score a ton of points. So you're taking both of them from the same team. And historically, tight ends score us the lowest amount of points unless you have an elite one. So I understand your thought process on this, but I'm probably not going to do it because when are those guys, if you're taking a true elite one, when are those guys really going to outscore your elite one without an injury, right? And then if you get an injury, then you're still stuck with only one. Yeah, but how many of those late round guys are going to have big spike weeks?
Hard to say. That's why they're at that cost. That's the whole point.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I understand your thought process on it. It's not wrong. It's just I'm not a fan of doing it that way. I want to maximize my points.
All right, let's move over to Dickum Dilly Dilly. We got Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford. Meh, good but not great. Would have maybe liked a third QB there. Bijan, Trey Benson. We told you not to do Trey Benson, second RB. We already said it. You're losing points, Dickum. Losing points here.
It's okay.
Okay. Whoa.
Well, yes, Javonte. No. He backed it up with a starter. So even if Javonte gets spelled out of number one,
yes, but then two very risky picks in Jalen Wright and J.K. Dobbins. Andrew,
that is true. I probably wouldn't have taken the Dobbins. I'm okay with the right one. The Dobbins one is the one that
you get.
I probably would pick somebody else there.
You get the attachment to a prolific offense for the Dolphins, yes, but you're still playing third fiddle in a pass-heavy offense behind a running back in Mostert who still had 18 touchdowns last year. Not saying he's going to repeat, but saying he has priority. Debo, Devontae, George Pickens, Hollywood Brown, great start at receivers. Love that foursome. Watson, I'm not a Watson guy, but building him as into that group, that's an okay way to do it. Let's not forget Christian Watson won somebody $3 million last year. Kill me. Quentin Johnston, Rashad Bateman, Tyler Boyd. That's a very good receiver room. I like that. At least you made up for your lack of our running backs with receivers. And then Kittle, Musgrave, Mayer. Probably would have taken that Mayer pick and thrown it into an RB. I like Kittle and Musgrave. I think that would have been just fine. And plus they have the double buy there, 10-10. I'll give it a 6-9.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, it's not a bad overall team. I'll give him 7 straight out.
Very similar. TD King, Jaden Daniels, Deshaun Watson, Derek Carr. Awful quarterbacks. What is this guy doing? Unreal. Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, Jalen Warren, Marshawn Lloyd, Elijah Mitchell. Good running backs. It's not bad. It's not bad. Olave, Neighbors, Higgins, Godwin, Dotson. Very good start. Jermaine Burton, also good. I'll throw that into that top pair. And then you're taking a couple of shots with Javon Baker and Jalen McMillan. A couple of good rookie prospects. I like that. I think ADP was just off the charts there. So I think that's probably why we see Baker a little bit higher. And yeah, I mean, this is great because one of these guys could to take care of your running back woes for sure. One of these tight ends. 7.25. I'll give Ginder the edge on you.
Nice. 8.3.
Okay, sure. All right. Yeah. All right. Last up, me and Dave.
No, you skipped Wiles.
Oh, my bad. Forgot about Wiles. Sorry, Jake from State Farm. Jalen Hurts, Kirk Cousins, solid. I like it. Reached a little bit for Kirk Cousins, no problem there. I think I saw you get Mooney in this draft. I like that late round pairing. Joe Mixon, Ramondre, Charbonnet, Algier, Roshan, Braylon Allen. Need some work in running back, but there's definitely some potential risers for sure. Braylon Allen, just in general, feel like that offense is going to score a lot of points, going to be able to spell one of the better running backs in the league. One of the better handcuff situations. Roshan stock could rise with a move from Herbert. Tyler Algier, again, another very good spell running back. Charbonnet, I don't love at this ADP, but all good. He goes where he goes. AJ Brown, London, Zay Flowers, Jamison Williams, love that foursome. Falls off a little bit here, but I do like Shaheed. I do like Wilson. Taking your shot with Tolbert, don't hate that. Also got him after ADP, very nice. And then Kincaid and Likely.
I mean, really, it's just Kincaid, right? Likely's there for if Andrews gets hurt, then he's sitting really nice. If not, then really he's just solely relying on Kincaid, which is fine.
Yeah. 7.
I mean, he has some correlation here too. Tolbert is an interesting one because he has a correlated with Philadelphia week 17.
The Birds.
So that's
cool
too. Yeah.
The Birds. Yeah, I'll go 7.
I'll give him 7.7.
Nice. Your favorite. Other than
I do
yourself.
like it. Yeah, I mean, I like his wide receiver stable.
Tight end is where I'm hurting there.
I mean, I love Kincaid. I got a BBB for him, a best ball boner. for Kincaid.
Yeah, just keep it PG. Unreal. This guy. All right, Patrick Mahomes, Geno Smith, Bryce Young. Elite QB. No, not bad. We backed it up with a couple of good options for that Week 6 bye. We are not pigeonholing ourselves to Geno Smith in Week 6. Thank you, Auto Draft. Jonathan Taylor, Najee Harris, Gus Edwards, Jaleel McLaughlin, Chuba Hubbard. Not the best stable, but I would say pretty reliable stable right there. You have at least 3 guys that could potentially get double-digit touchdowns. I like that. And then the change of pace in Jaleel, and if Chuba can ride it out, I think it's a good 5-some there. Puka, Calvin, Keon, Lockett, Palmer, Wicks, Davis. Not the strongest of the bunch, but some versatility here. And every one of these guys is a 1 or 2 on their roster, so I'm okay with that. Whenever you have a chance to be top 2 in your targets on your roster, it's a good situation. We don't have any bottom of the depth chart guys, so I feel very good about that group. Kelsey, obviously going elite stack with him and Mahomes. Backed it up with 2 last round picks in Gesicki and Sanders. Just 2 flyers. They might as well be Hurst and Donald Parham. I don't hate it.
No, I mean it's not a bad team. Like you said, your wide receivers are nice. They're going to see a decent amount of targets, a majority of them. Obviously, you're just really hoping Kelsey just has a phenomenal year. Obviously, you have that paired up as well. So yeah, I mean,
I got to roll, boys.
Overall, hey Dave, thanks, buddy. Man, he just rolled out for real quick.
Late night,
late night for him. Yeah, but I mean, your team's not bad. I mean, overall, good stacks there too. So, I'll take it middle of the road 7-4.
It's a 7-7. You know that it is. We're very strict on the grades here. We never give out 9s or 8s.
I mean, there's some potential there. I'm just waiting for one to just wow me. Like, man, that's just fantastic all across the board.
Wow. I'll have to start posting more of mine. I'm up to 45. How about you?
Ooh, I'm not there yet. I think that's 31 for me. Yeah, 31.
Are you trying to max out or what? Are you trying to get caught at 120 again?
Nah, but I want to wait. I want to see some more information. Then I'll start barbelling.
Barbelling what? You want to find out where Michael Thomas goes so you can not take him in the last round? I mean, are you even going to play the market here?
No, I'm not.
Unreal.
No,
so you're just not into buying players that will be 2 rounds more expensive in a month?
No, Adam Thielen,
okay.
Michael Thomas, all those guys, no.
Adam Thielen will be more expensive. That's right. But I think it'll be easier to pass on him when he's more expensive.
It's easy to pass him now.
No, I disagree at that range. I just disagree. Like, I like Malachi Corley, but I think that he's got a lot more competition than Adam Thielen for touches and looks. I firmly believe that.
I mean, Corley has a much better quarterback situation.
They're going to run the ball a lot, going to pass a lot to Garrett Wilson. Look at the Garrett Wilson target share when his quarterback is terrible. I mean, he could get like
Dave
15,
Canales
16
is going to run the ball a billion times.
I said Breece Hall.
I know Dave Canales is with the Panthers. I mean, yeah, they're going to run the ball a lot.
Hopefully they don't break your boy Jonathan Brooks. We'll see.
I hope they do. Break him in.
Break him in. Break him in. That's tough. All right. Anything to share before we head out?
No. I mean, definitely check out Dave on Twitter. I know he had to, kind of go real quick there. We did take a little bit longer than we originally told him, but definitely check him out. Dynasty Dorks on Twitter. He's a great follow. Tons of content put out, especially about rookies. Obviously Dynasty Dorks, he has it in his name, loves the Dynasty outlook, path on fantasy. So definitely check him out. But yeah, I mean, appreciate everyone hanging in there with us. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe, tell friends, family, coworkers, people on the street that are cleaning your windshields. Doesn't matter. Tell them we'll be here 4 times a week doing live drafts.
Andrew's war on windshield wiper cleaners. Unreal.
Tomorrow, Meg and friends of best ball, or yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. I believe.
But yeah, Meg, if you're in the chat, who's the person tomorrow? I forget. Actually, you know what? Here, let's check the old YouTube here.
Ginder's trying to push GameStop stock. I called it GameStop.
He would.
He would. Any other stocks we should be looking into, guys?
I don't know. Jake's my financial advisor, so ask him.
Is he from State Farm?
No, he's from LPL.
Is that a good one?
It's not bad.
Jake, can you just like talk about compound interest in the chat for like 4 minutes?
He wants to talk about annuities.
Do you want to talk about annuities in the chat a little bit, Jake? This is
So if anybody needs a guy
channel where people can come to learn.
If anybody needs a guy to stick money with, he'll help you out.
Yeah. At the top of the show, there was some talk about gravity.
Well, yeah, that's an answer for you.
I'm pretty sure that's been verified. Show it to me, spread. Show it to me outside of a test tube. Show me gravity.
He said you want to be here for another hour.
I do. Andrew doesn't. He doesn't have the acumen for it. He doesn't have the endurance.
I'm a fantasy endurance athlete, baby. I got a shirt for it. So stuck in Trebek.
Okay. Trebek is dead. That's
rough. R.I.P.
That's a bad kink you got there, guy. That's not good.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you guys hanging in.
Take care. Be well, be good. We'll see you next week. If you can't be good at it. We'll see you.